Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Slcmof and I'm back again with another video, and in this one I'm actually tackling a topic in which I've been requested to do quite a bit, and that is DLC in Telltale's Batman, if there is to be any at all. Now, Telltale Games, to me, I very much so love it. As many of you know, it's my favorite game development studio, and one of the things that I love so much about them is that they are, in my opinion, so genuine, I guess is the best word to describe it. They don't rip you off. It's, you know, you're never going to have a bad experience with them in that way, in that way of almost feeling manipulated or anything like that. And that is one of the reasons that I love them so much, because they are an exception to what I would feel is the kind of general mood or atmosphere that the gaming community has towards DLC. But it's not such a dirty word in the Telltale world. I mean, Telltale released in The Walking Dead Season 1, they released this DLC called the 400 Days DLC, which was, by every means, a spectacular piece of additional content that put you deeper into the world of The Walking Dead Season 1, and that just proves to you that it's not, DLC is not innately evil. You know, what is DLC? Downloadable content. I mean, we download a lot of things, right? So, you know, it's all about the studio implementing that, and if that's worthwhile. And if you have a studio like Telltale Games that provides consistent value for great prices and just phenomenal games at a great value, and it's truly a rarity in the video game industry. But in my honest opinion, one of the biggest problems of the DLC epidemic, I dare call it, in the video game industry is that we are so quick to chastise the wrongdoings, the overt, might I add, wrongdoings of the video game industry. It's like, yes, we get it, the Star Wars Battlefront DLC sucks. I mean, how many videos do people have to make and articles does IGN have to write? We get it, it's stupid, it's a $110 game. But the point is, as gamers, we should be rewarding, and not even just rewarding, but just thanking game studios like Telltale Games that are, in my opinion, doing it right, doing it the right way, and providing consistent value of phenomenal games that are filled with just depth and great storytelling, and doing what they do best in craftsmanship and artsmanship behind games at great prices, 25, 30 bucks, whatever they're selling. I mean, ridiculously low prices, phenomenal games. Again, this is what we should be rewarding and encouraging, but instead we just criticize what's wrong rather than reward what is being done right. Just my personal opinion on the issue. So basically what I'm saying, that's the whole point of this 4-minute intro, is to say thank you to Telltale Games for being awesome. With that being said, as the studio providing the best value in gaming right now, I really don't want them to change anything that they're doing. With that being said, is there the possibility that they could do 99-cent or $2 DLC skin type things that like they do in Arkham Knight? I'm not saying it's impossible, but I will say that you can look at a game like Tales from the Borderlands. If I recall correctly, Tales from the Borderlands is actually, of course, a Telltale game that includes a fully in-game, currency type system in which you can change out cosmetic items. You can buy costumes or, I guess, new clothing or attire for Reese and other, the main characters and that kind of thing. And you can also change out the cosmetic appeal or the color of, I dare not say a car. I don't know Borderlands very well. I have played Tales from the Borderlands, as I said. I'm not a Borderlands expert by any means. But anyway, it's like an RV type looking thing. You can change the colors for that, and as far as I'm aware, there's not even the possibility of a money component, and if there is, it's very minimal. I was managed to get through the game and change out my attire and change out the colors of the vehicle, we'll call it, multiple times, and I didn't have to pay anything. I don't even think there was a money component involved there. That's a marvel. So that's important for me to just acknowledge and thank Telltale for doing that, because it's very easy, and I may even say tempting, for them to implement a microtransaction system, but they haven't done so yet, as far as I'm aware. And also, I don't think anybody's going to particularly lose their mind if they implement 99-cent skins. If they come out, then I'll buy them just to make a video on them. But to be quite honest with you, I really want to talk about story DLC, because again, like the 400 Days DLC is kind of what I have in mind, and there is indeed a precedent for what I'm kind of proposing in terms of what we could see in terms of, I don't want to call it story DLC, this isn't Arkham Knight, I don't want to get out of Arkham Knight mode, but basically what it is, I mean, it's a story pack is basically what it would be, and a 3-episode season pass. So they're doing this with the Minecraft series right now, and Telltale, if they're known for anything to do with this DLC, and that is to kind of be innovative and push the boundaries a little bit. So the 400 Days DLC was very unique in that you followed like 5 different characters. And the Minecraft episode 6, so again, 1 through 5 is the core game, 25, 30 bucks, you buy that. And then you can buy for $15 more, you can buy 3 extra episodes, full complete episodes. And these episodes are unique to the main story. So for example, episode 6 was a really, really cool idea. And essentially what it was is they had these Minecraft YouTubers that were covering their game. And they brought them in, and then YouTubers YouTubers is kind of underselling them. I mean, these people have like 10 million subscribers. I couldn't name one to save my life, but you know, these are big, you know how big Minecraft YouTubers are. Anyway, so they brought them in and they made a story around these Minecraft characters. So, you know, YouTubers, sorry, so these Minecraft YouTubers were actually turned into characters inside of the game. So the fans, you know, that view these YouTubers as beloved figures, of course, are playing through a game in which their YouTubers are in the game, and I think that's a pretty genius idea. So one thing that I would love to see Telltale implement into this Batman series is the same kind of template of DLC release, where you have this 3-episode season pass for 15 or 20 bucks, or however much they want to charge for it, and you have DLC with supporting Bat Family characters, whether this be, initially when I was first recording the commentary, I would list, you know, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Robin, and there may be some issues there in that they would have to do a time jump forward, because Batman's only like 25 years old, and we've already learned that the game is not going to focus too heavily on other Bat Family characters besides what we would call the immediate Bat Family, be it Alfred and Jim Gordon and that kind of thing. So, you know, Batgirl, and you know, I wouldn't get my hopes up for that, for her to be in the game, but you could certainly do a time jump forward where Batgirl's involved, and it could actually be kind of pretty much unrelated to the narrative that we play in the 5-episode series, and just be something totally on its own, where you're just playing as Batgirl. It's kind of in an indefinite or indescribed amount of time. It might be 15 years in the future. It doesn't matter. It's just an additional story DLC, and others of it may actually be a little bit more tied into the 5-episode experience and just take us into a deeper dive into that world. And one of the things that's important to know about Batman lore is that not only is just Batman so popular, but his allies and his villains are so incredibly popular. So having a story DLC focused around these allies, to me, just seems like the next logical thing to do for story DLC if they were to have some. And you can also look at, even if they, let's say, don't want to include Batgirl, include Jim Gordon. Do a story DLC where you're playing as Jim Gordon and you are actually in GCPD. To me, that would just be amazing. That would just be a dream come true. You know, you never get to follow a Batman story from Jim Gordon's perspective. I mean, Batman Year One is your best glimpse into that, into what it's like actually being Jim Gordon as a police commissioner or whatever position he's in at that point in Gotham City. And to me, that would just be an awesome experience to play as Jim Gordon or to play as Robin in a, you know, an hour and a half, 2-hour story DLC, and each presenting their own challenges, of course, and having its own complete story. And it can be as tied into or as not tied into the actual 5-episode experience. I don't think anybody would complain if it's not a direct tie-in. Now, Telltale Games, if you want to make a lot of money, I mean, what do I know, but just saying, I feel as though it would be received extremely well if you were to adapt the Telltale formula of making choices and that kind of thing that we know Telltale to be to the Joker. And yes, include a Joker and Harley Quinn story pack DLC where you are actually playing against Batman, and the premise is, you know, you are fighting against the good guys, you know, air quotes, and you're playing as the Joker. And although I can see that this could be a dangerous kind of choice, because, you know, it's challenging to rationalize the choices of the Joker, and of course in a Telltale game you're making choices, but think about, like, you know, the Harley Quinn vision on Arkham Knight, when you go into Detective Vision and you can see the ha 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 and all the writings on the walls and that kind of thing. That kind of thing. You're seeing Telltale's picture of what Joker, what it's like to see the world through Joker's eyes, and you're making choices through Joker's demented mind. I think that would just be absolutely amazing. And again, it would be a challenge to rationalize the Joker's choices. I'm not saying that I have any great concrete ideas of how to do it. I'm just saying that if they figured out a way to do it and implement it correctly, I think it would be absolutely amazing. And not only that, I think the fans would love it, and it would just be a massive hit overall. I mean, an hour and a half story DLC where we are playing as the Joker. We are trying to make choices as the Joker as to whether or not to throw a whoopee cushion in his face or, you know, punch this guy or what. I mean, I just think it would be absolutely insanity. It would be fun. Probably a change of pace from this, you know, the series, which we can expect from past Telltale games isn't going to be, walk through the roses type thing. And I just think it would be a blast, and they can do great things with it. So anyway, guys, that is just my suggestions for what we can see for story DLC in Telltale's Batman, if they are intent upon doing it. Again, there's no confirmed DLC at this point, and if it stays that way, I'm perfectly alright with that. Although I would be a little disappointed if we don't get any DLC or Season 2, but hopefully the series does well, such that we can get a Season 2 at the bare minimum. So anyway, guys, hope you'll have enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and like and share if you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.